Hello everyone. Today we are going to be making a rocket ship. So let's get started. We're going to click the blue create button, click document, and we'll name it rocket. Enter. In making this rocket ship, we're going to use a new tool up here. Previously we've only been using extrude, so I'm sure you know how that one works. Now we're going to be able to use this revolve tool right here. So I'll show you how that works. All right, let's get started. Click on the front face, click N so we look at it, and click sketch so we can start a new sketch. First thing we're going to make is the rocket ship's body. So I'm going to click this drop down and go with a 3-point arc in my sketch here. And I'm going to go directly above this center point, however high I want. Doesn't really matter. Click there, click somewhere out to the side, also doesn't matter. And then I'm going to choose the arc of the outside of my rocket ship's body. Click there, and then we got to close this off. I'll show you what I mean. Click here with a line, make sure it's directly above the center point. Then we're going to go straight up here, and now this is closed off. It's grayed out, so we can use it to make geometry. This sketch is done, so I'm going to click the green check mark, and now this is where we use the revolve tool. So I'm going to click revolve, and I'm going to click on the face we just sketched, and then I need to choose an axis to revolve around. So the way this works is I click this axis, and then it spins that shape all the way around the axis to make a solid. So I can show you a little bit better what I mean if instead of going full, we go one direction, because then I can change our degrees. So you can see we started with just our sketch like that. And then what this tool does is we've picked our axis, which you can see highlighted orange in the middle there, and it rotates this all the way around that axis to make our volume. And you can choose whatever angle you want this to be. You can click it in there. We want this to be all the way around, so you can either choose 360, or you can just go full, and that'll make our full geometry right there. Green check mark, and we have the body of our rocket. It's a pretty stubby rocket, actually. I think I'm going to make that a little bit taller. Double click in sketch, and I'm just going to click and drag this up higher, and I'm going to drag this in a little bit. There we go. Green check mark. I like that better. Next thing we can do is add the nozzle on the bottom here where all of the fire would come out of. So I'm going to click the front plane, N, so I'm looking right at it, and let's make another sketch. So for this nozzle, oh, there we go. Now we are on the front plane. I'm going to choose the line, and again with a revolve, you only have to make half of your geometry because you're going to revolve it all the way around your central axis. I'll show you what I mean with this. So click here, there, I'm going to go horizontal and back up and over. Looks to me like that might not be horizontal, so I'm going to click the horizontal tool right there, and there we go. Now that's horizontal, and I want to make sure these are parallel, so I'm going to click the parallel tool. And now those are parallel. This is a little bit thicker than I want it to be, so I'm going to click my dimension tool here, and one line and the other line. Let's make that only 3 millimeters. Looks like we're no longer in our rocket's body there, so I'm just going to drag this up back into the rocket's body and drag this down. So I still have a pretty big rocket booster. There we go. And I need a central axis to revolve this around like you saw last time. Since this part here doesn't have anything on the central axis, I'm going to draw a construction line, so a line that doesn't actually make anything, right up the center, just like that. And then I can click escape, so I'm out of this line tool, and green check mark. All right, and then let's revolve this. So I'm going to click revolve again, click on the sketch that we made, click here until it turns blue, and then click on my revolve axis. And there we go. Now you can see we have the nozzle on the bottom of our rocket. Next thing we want to do is add wings to the rocket, because every rocket has, well, it's called an empennage, but wings on the bottom that you can see keep it stable. So I'm going to click the front plane, type N, so I'm looking right at it, and sketch. So let's see, what do I want these to look like? Let's use another tool. Let's use the conic arc. I don't think you've seen this one yet, but it looks pretty cool. So you click in one point, click another point. I can go here if I'd like to, but I think I want to go lower than my nozzle. That way I can actually stand on these wings. Click there, and then as I drag this way, you can see it very much changes that arc. It's no longer like part of a circle. It's a conic curve. So I'm going to click there, and then let's make another one so we can make this a full body. So we'll stick with 0.5 there. You don't need to know what that row 0.5 means right now. And then the next one, I want to go way up here. And then we'll go to the very same point. There we go. And then I need to connect these two so that we have a closed off sketch. There we go. Turned gray. We're all good. And I'm going to click the green check mark. Now, you don't always have to have an axis to revolve around if you don't want to. You can choose anything that's circular. So we're going to do that for this as well. Click the revolve tool. Click on the sketch we just made. Revolve axis. I'm going to click on this nozzle right here, and it'll go all the way around. That is not what a rocket looks like. We do not want to go all the way around. So where it says full, we're going to click it, and we're going to click one direction like I showed you last time. And now you can see that's not nearly as big as it used to be, but that's still definitely bigger than we want. So let's see what 5 degrees looks like. Go right there. I think that looks pretty good. We'll go with that. But we need more than just one wing on this rocket. So let's see if we can pattern this around the outside of our rocket. I'll show you how to do that. So right here, you can click this drop down. This is where you do patterns in solid models. We don't want a linear pattern because that would put them all in a line along together. We want a circular pattern, so it'll go in a circle around the body of our rocket here. So entities to pattern. I want it to be the wing right there. I can't just select the wing, but since this is all symmetrical, as you spin it around, this will work just fine. So axis of pattern, again, I can just select this right here. And then there we go. We have 4 wings, and I can change how many wings I want there. I think 3 looks better with a rocket, like that. But you can add as many as you want. If you want, you could have 20 wings in there. And I think that looks a little funky for a rocket, but whatever you want to do. I'm going to move it back to 3. There we go. Last thing we need to do to finish this rocket off is to add a window so that they can see out of the rocket. So green check mark because we're done with that circular pattern. And let's add that window. So I'm going to click on the front plane, click sketch, and type N so that I'm looking right at it. And this will be a pretty simple one. We just want a circle that's right in the center of our rocket. We're going to go with that. I'm going to say I only want that to be 20 millimeters in diameter. So I'll go there. And then you can see that sketch is inside of our rocket, but that's still okay. We can still extrude it. So done using the revolve tool. We're now going to go back to extrude, which you already know, and click on sketch 4. That's what we just made. Then we can extrude this out as far as we want. That is not what a window looks like. So we're going to bring it back a little bit. Let's go see what that looks like. I think I want it a little bit shorter. Let's see what 30 millimeters looks like. No, even shorter than that. So that it's just outside the body of my rocket. Perfect. Right there. Click the green check mark so that we're we can exit that sketch, and then we'll add one more because this doesn't quite look like a window yet. So I'm going to click this front face of my window and click sketch N, so I'm looking right at it. And we'll click the circle tool again. Make sure that we're snapping to be right in the middle of this circle. Click, and we don't want it to be bigger than our circle here. We want it to be smaller. So that actually looks like a window that has a rim around it. Let's make this 15 millimeters. I think that looks pretty good. Whatever, 5 less than our whatever circle you made if you didn't choose 20 millimeters there. So green check mark. And we want to cut this in a little bit so that it actually looks like a window. So I'm going to click on the sketch we just made, click extrude again, and then we can cut this. So instead of add material, we're going to remove material. And you can choose whatever depth of cut you want there. So I'm just going to do, let's go with a 2 millimeter cut, see what that looks like. I think that looks about right for a rocket. Green check mark. And there we go. There we have a rocket. That's all you really have to do. But if you want to add other things to it, you certainly can. We could pattern this, this window around the rocket so that you have windows in every direction out of the rocket. I'm sure you can figure out how to do that. Or we can change the profile of the wing right here. So if you click on it, we can see that was Revolve 3, which is based off of Sketch 3. So if I double click that, I can change this. And click N, so I'm looking right at this sketch. I could change this to be a different kind of rocket profile. So if you wanted to add maybe rocket boosters on every wing, let's see how we could do that. I'm going to click the trim tool, get rid of everything I sketched. And what would this look like? Let's see. I think I would have a line coming way down like this. Goes there, goes straight down, comes back up into there. I gotta close off this sketch. It's grayed out, so that means it's complete. I'm gonna click the green check mark, and there we go. But it's not able to revolve that because it thinks that this revolve is based off of a different sketch that we already made in Sketch 3. So I'm gonna double click this, and you can see it's saying it's missing this face. You changed it. So we gotta tell it that we changed it. Delete this face, click our new one, and there we have our revolve. So now if I want to add a rocket booster to this, let's see how I can do that. I could click this front face, type N, so I'm looking directly at it, sketch, and I'm going to draw half of a rocket booster around here so that I can make it a revolve. All right, how do I want to do that? Let's go with another 3-point arc. And actually, before we do that, I'm going to draw a line going straight up there. There we go. Now I'm going to click my 3-point arc. We're going to go there. We're going to go to a little bit below our rocket booster here so that it can stand on these rockets instead. I'm going to click there, and we're going to say that's going to be the shape of a rocket booster. So I need to bring this line the rest of the way down until it's even with, I'm not going to be able to get that even, that's okay, with this point. So I can use horizontal right here, click horizontal, and that'll make this horizontal. Perfect. And if I want to, I can, after I press escape, so this isn't highlighted anymore. So see, it's highlighted, escape, it's not. I can drag this down, change the height of this rocket booster if I want to, and green check mark. Now I want to revolve this. So click revolve, click our sketch, and our revolve axis is going to be any straight line in the sketch there. And there we have it, green check mark. There is one of our rocket boosters. However, you can see it's not quite centered here. So if we want to change that, we can go back into this revolve here and click symmetric. That way it revolves evenly on both sides of the plane that we just sketched our other rocket booster on. Green check mark, and there we go. Now it's even. Lastly, we can make a pattern of our rocket boosters here so that they're on every single extra wing. Let's see here. And I need to make this rocket booster its own separate part, which means instead of add, I need to make it new. You don't have to understand that right now. That's all you need to know for us to actually be able to do this. So I'm going to do another circular pattern, and I'm going to select our rocket booster and our axis of pattern. Again, I can just choose this right here, and I'm going to just do the same number of wings that I have. So instead of 4, I'm going to go 3. Green check mark, and there we go. Now we have a rocket booster on every wing of our rocket. Again, if you want to change anything about this, the shape of the rocket, the shape of your wings, the shape of your rocket boosters, if you want to add fire to the bottom, you can totally do that. Anything like that. But yeah, that's how you use revolves. That's how you use patterns. If you want an extra challenge, see if you can figure out how to make a UFO to go with this rocket. That can also use revolves. Cool. That's it for this lesson. Please ask me if you have any questions, and good luck making your rocket.